Okay, so let's move ahead and talk about what is cloud computing. So the cloud computing is the on-demand availability of computer systems resources, especially data storage and computer power, without direct active management by the user. Large clouds often have functions distributed over multiple locations, each location being a data center. So we discussed earlier about the cloud computing as well. Like, the problem is in the company. Let's suppose I own a company and it has, let's say, like 8 to 10 servers required. And I want to access these servers and, for the management purpose or for my own purpose. Okay, so we know that we are going to spend a lot of money for that. And let's say if I give you a practical example of that, for example, if I want to open some services just for the temporary purposes. Okay, I know that my business after some time will be down and I don't want it running all the time. So I just want it for a temporary purpose. So do you think I will invest a lot of money just for a temporary solution? No. Then what is the solution, and the remedy is the cloud computing or the cloud services. The cloud, I can go into the cloud and I can purchase whatever the devices or the services the clouds are providing. So this is like a very cheap solution. Okay, and you are going to save a lot of money when using cloud services. So the other benefits and the features included in cloud computing is scalability. As it is mentioned, scalability is the ability of the system to accommodate larger loads just by adding resources, either making hardware or whatever these things are. Means if this is a service, you want to add more services on top of that, you can add more resources. You can add further servers on that. This is called scalability. Then we have elasticity. Elasticity is something different than this scalability. Elasticity has to do with the single resource. Means I can, for example, this is a server. I can increase hard disk drive. I can remove the hard disk drive from the single resource. That has to do with the elasticity. Then other benefits like availability is simply, is the source there or no? The server that I am accessing is available there or no all the time. Then reliability, how reliable or what is the performance of that server is. So these are the features that comes in a cloud computing. Then we have multiple types of cloud. Let's say this is a public cloud. This is by default. And examples are mentioned like Microsoft Azure, AWS, IBM, or Alibaba. If we want to take the services from them directly, those comes under public cloud. But let's say I do not want to take the services. I will take service from them, but I will keep them as a private. So that assets will be belong to me. Like if give you example, like HP has its own data center. In case if the JSS want, they can also have their own data center. So that comes under the private cloud. Then the third one is hybrid, which is the best of both worlds. Means you can take some portions from the public cloud and then plus from the private cloud. So adding these two makes hybrid cloud. So these are the cloud types basically. Then we have a cloud service model. And in the quiz I asked and you gave a very good answer to that. We have infrastructure as security service, then platform as service, software as service. And what are those things? Infrastructure As the name implies, infrastructure, it means we are going to deploy kind of infrastructure on top of that, like hardware resources, networking devices, something like that. It belongs to the infrastructure as services. So infrastructure as service is a type of cloud computing service that offers essential compute, storage, networking resources on demand. And the example is same like AWS, Azure, Google, IBM. They are providing these IaaS platforms. Then we have platform as service. If I give you example, just for example, if JSS is having kind of test out labs, okay, they can put on platform of the cloud services. So you can access those from the cloud services. So platform as service is a cloud computing model where third party, because JS is a third party provider delivers hardware and software tools user over the internet. Then we have software as a services, and the examples are like Dropbox, Facebook, Salesforce, and Office 35. We are using on day-to-day basis. So those are examples of software as a services. Any confusion until here? If you can ask the question.
So far, so good.
Okay, that's fine. Then this is cloud types visual breakdown. What I talked in the previous slide, you can see this is the on-premises, and we know what is on-premises. When you are owning everything, this belongs to you. Everything like from networking, storage, services, virtualization, operating system, all the way up to the application, this is your responsibility, and this is on your on-premises. But when we talk about infrastructure as services, the things that you are going to manage are operating system, middleware, runtime, data, and applications only. And as you can see, the infrastructure has already been provided by the, let's suppose AWS or Amazon or cloud, Google, IBM. They have already given us like networking, storage, services, and virtualization. Then under platform as services, very few things we need to manage because we are running just application on top of that. The rest of the things, like after virtualization, even they have given us operating system, then runtime, middleware, everything. This is the responsibility of your AWS or IBM, whatever. Okay, so you will be only managing these two things as per your need. And the last is software as services. And we discussed like Facebook, Office 365, something like that. As you can see, they are managing all the things, all the way from networking to application. Okay, so they are responsible for that. We are just using their services or application. Okay, so in this session, I'm gonna give you a demo on AWS particularly. So that's why I put these things related to the AWS. And if I'm talking about the region, maybe if you will hit IBM Cloud, Alibaba Cloud, they will be talking about different things in the region. So these are more specific to the AWS. And a region is what is just isolated and physically separate geographical location. That's it. For example, it could be, if we talk about United States, it could be East, it could be West, something like that. Then we have VPCs. VPCs is nothing, just you can consider it like a container on which you will deploy your resources. And what resources are like your routers, switches, IPv6 addresses, subnetting, and everything. As you can see, Amazon VPC is a service that lets you launch AWS resources in a logically isolated virtual network that you define. you can use IPv4, IPv6, most resources in your VPC cloud. So this is basically going to isolate your network. So you can have multiple VPCs. Like this is VPC1 and this VPC2. Then you can deploy other resources in that. If you want to make this communication, they can do if you have deployed some kind of routing here. So the concept and idea is very similar what we have been doing. Then we have this availability zones and EC2. So basically, when we have the one main region, in main region, under main region, we have one, let's say one VPC. And then VPC could have a different availability zone. And these availability zones, like we have public zone or private zone. Okay, if I show you the definition, like availability zone are isolated location within the data center regions from which public cloud service originate and operate. Regions are geographic location in which public and public cloud service providers data center resides. When I will show you in the next slide, you will get the clear picture of it. Then we have EC2. This is known as elastic compute. It is nothing just like a virtual device that is on top of that. You can run some services like Linux. You can deploy servers like Windows servers, Mac, something like that. So these terms are very specific to AWS. So what I said earlier, as you can see here, we have the region, and then we have VPCs, one main VPC. Then these are the availability zone. Under what zones these things are available, like this EC2 instance is available in this zone, and this one is on this zone. Then we have public subnets and private subnets. If you remember, we talked about the public IP or private IPs. The private IP is gonna locally communicate with each other. If we have multiple instances here, EC2 instances here, they are gonna communicate with each other. Okay, but this is public subnet. They are not going to communicate unless until we have some kind of router device inside it, which is having the information of this subnet as well as this subnet. So similarly, if these two zones want to communicate to the internet, they need to go through router, and then we have this default gateway. Okay, so this is same concept that we are doing, you know, in CCNA, but now they have taken this thing one step further and put everything on a cloud. So that's, you know, I want to put emphasis here as well, that, you know, people, they're still confused why we need to learn the basics, routing, switching, subnets, these things, because the things have changed now. We are moving on to the cloud. But, you know, if you will go into the cloud, everything is very similar what we are doing locally. So Danish, if you also can add something on that what I said.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, most of the companies we are in right now, we call this term hybrid. And I'm sure one of you probably worked in this area, right? Where you have a local machines, local internet, local Active Directory, and then you have some type of solution from AWS or Azure, and then you connect to the cloud. So keep that in mind, that we're not totally 100% into cloud, and it's going to take a lot of time for some of the companies to move to 100% cloud. But even if you do go there, you could become a network engineer on a physical side of it. You can take over, Kamran. I have a little problem going on here with family.
Sure. Also, I was saying, actually, the basics, why do we need to learn basics? Because cloud, people think that cloud is something different than IP subnetting or something. Okay, I think Danish has some issue. No problem. So I will jump into the lab and I will demonstrate how you can configure. So basically what I'm going to do, this lab is going to cover, first we will log in into AWS, and later on we will share how you can log in into AWS. Basically you must have, some credit card information or Visa card information to log in into this AWS console. Otherwise they will not let you in. So you must have that one identification to have your own account. So this is the only barrier you have to face. So if you have Visa card, credit card, something like that, it will be like a piece of cake. Then we will deploy EC2 instance. On top of that, we will deploy server 2019. And then we will access that server from my own machine locally. So any confusion until here? Or shall I move to the lab directly?
I'm good.
Okay, Christelle, if you have any.
No, I don't have.
Okay, that's fine. So this is the last, by the way, lab, and this is the last slide as well. So So can you see, this is basically the console. Can you see the page?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the AWS console. Okay. Whatever you will do, everything will be pinned here. It will be like pinning, everything will be pinning here, whatever you will be using. So this is the landing page. The most important pieces I just can mention under here. You can see, just a minute. Here you can see your billing information. Okay, under your name. Then we have the security credentials here. And then you can take a look for your account settings and everything. Then these are the regions. I was talking about earlier, the regions. And these are somehow important. Currently I am logged into this region, Ohio. I should be in a Asia Pacific, because why? Because my location is in Pakistan. Why do I need to go all the way to US East when I can reach these my servers, which are very near to me, like Asia? Okay. So you can change the region as well here from here, but I will keep it this as it is because we are going into demo. Otherwise, if you are sitting somewhere in America, you must choose this thing. If I'm sitting in Asia, I must choose this because this server is very near to me. Then the first thing first, I need to create the EC2 instance. For that, I need to go under services, and you can see multiple services that AWS is providing. Like compute, I talked about the compute, which has to do with EC2s, Lambda. These are the things they are using. Basically to configure a container. On top of that, you will run Linux, Windows operating system, Windows servers. Okay. Then we have to do with these storage devices. We can add storage. We have databases. Okay. We have some another developer tools. Some application developers can use that. in the bottom, what I was talking about earlier, the VPCs, that comes under network and content delivery. So when we'll go into the VPC, you will see a lot in detail about the IP subnets and everything, router gateways, everything you can configure. Then we have security as well. Okay, and then this is a new thing, that Internet of Things. You can take it as an assignment to learn about what is IoT. So we can do IoT things as well on the cloud. So this is very flexible, scalable. That is the why, and that is the reason everybody is moving toward cloud. It is very cheap. Maybe if you will deploy a server of Windows, let's say server 2019, maybe for a 1 hour, you are just going to pay just few bucks for that. Or even for a 1 day, maybe $1.
I thought that with VMware's or virtualization, things can get very expensive.
Yep. You know, the reason is because we are getting dependent on these devices. And, you know, there is a term known as pay as you go. Pay as you go. It means,
okay.
yeah, it means, you know why? Because you're very right. We are installing on daily basis these devices, and we are so much dependent on AWS or IBM or these things, okay, because we do not have infrastructure on our premises. So we are so much dependent on that thing that we are adding on day-to-day basis so many things.
So I have a question. At my job, when one of our users are dead in the water, we spin up an AWS for them, or Amazon Workspace.
Okay.
My question is, so the company doesn't get charged until it spins up the AWS, or it gets charged, like you have them on reserve and then you deploy them?
It depends. So actually, let's move further. Then I will make it clear for you when we will be in the EC2. I will show you something. Okay.
Okay.
Your answer, your question will be answered there. That is, I think I will demonstrate. So what you can do, we can go directly into the EC2 instance. Click on that. And these are the instances. As you can see, I am on new EC2 Enter experience. So these are the EC2 what I was talking about. So Hefa, I will install the service here, and then I will show you how they charge basically. Okay.
Okay.
And then you will have better idea what is going on. And so we are under instance, okay, and we are going to create an instance for some device. Okay. So click on the, if I can show you again, click on this button, launch instances. Click on that. You will see choose an Amazon machine image. Now you will see the plethora of devices here, as you can see.
These are images that the company created, or that like if images like.
Okay, I got your question. These are the ready-made images already provided by AWS.
Okay, but
Okay.
I can add my own image?
Yes, you can add. You need to search that specific device and then you can add.
Okay.
Okay. But they will charge in case if, of course, nothing is free. And if I can show you this, it is written what? Free tier eligible. If just can zoom in.
Yeah, I see that. Okay.
Okay. So these are the things you can use if you are, just doing for the demonstration purpose. You can use these images. But if you will go further, when you will start deploying these devices, there will come a part, they will basically tell you that this is the cost of this device. Okay, and I will show you just a minute. For example, if I want to deploy some Windows machine like this one, 2019 server, select this one. So once you are in the instance of this server 2019, you will see we have so many things, like how much memory it has, how many CPUs does it have, how much storage it can have. Okay, so this is free tier. That why it is limited, like 1 CPU, 1 memory of 1 GB. But as you will see here, we have multiple other instances with having like memory of 4 GB. They have 2 CPUs. And even if you will go deep further, you will see they have 16 GB RAM and then 4 core CPUs. Okay, so select this one and click on the next configure instance detail, click on that. Here number of instances, how many copies you want to create for this server. You can make like 2, 3, 4 in a single click, like you are going to create multiple copies of the same server from here. Then there comes that part, purchasing option. If you click this one, it is gonna show you how much it is gonna charge.
Okay.
Okay, but this is like free tier. But if you want to like add more resources into that, this is how they're gonna charge you for that. But we do not want, because this is just, we are going for the demo purposes. And this is by default VPC, as I mentioned earlier, the region. So keep it as it is. If you want, you can add another VPC and you can put from here like drop down. And let's say I create like New York, and I can add that my resource into that VPC. And these are the subnets, what kind of IPs I can use. So you can create, if you want, you can create multiple subnets, like range is 172 or something like that if you want. But this is like auto assign. Subnet is by default. And by the way, when I will deploy this machine, it will be assigned IP automatically from the public IP. So I will keep, for the sake of simplicity, I will keep these everything as it is. Okay, because there are not so much that I want to show you. And this is also another part, tenancy. If you want like dedicated, it is gonna charge you more. So I will keep shared. This is a shared environment. So after that, just click on the next, add storage. Now it has to do with the storage. How much storage I need to have for this device. By default, it is 30 GB. But if I will add more, it is gonna cost me. Okay, it is written that free tier eligible customers can get up to 30 Gbps only. Okay, so if you want to go increase, because your company's policy, this is what I was, this is what Hefa, you are saying that, it costs more. Why? Because our needs are increasing.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So this is because demo purpose, I can use 30 GB. But what in case when you will deploy, high-end resource devices or the applications on your machine, what you're going to do, which require a lot of space and memory, of course, you need to increase. Okay.
Yes,
After
makes
that,
sense.
yep. After that, just click on next tab, add tags, and you can add a tag. This is just for the sake of information. Let's make it name server 2019 and click configure security group. Okay, here you can give a unique security group name like server sec group. This is just a unique name for the identification. In which group this system is going to be. Then these are the very important parts. RDP. This is like if I can show you remote desktop. Can you see this thing?
Yes.
Okay. So this is RDP. So this is correlate with this thing. With this RDP. And now you can see it is using TCP protocol and the port range is 3389. So it is going to use 3389 for accessing this my server from RDP. If you want, you can add more services like add rule. And then you can use like HTTP services to access this system, which is using 80. Then further, you can select like HTTPS as well, which is using 443. So basically, this is giving me idea how can I access my devices. So click on a review and launch. Here we have, this is just like the summary. And then click on the launch. So this is also very important. I previously created one JSS pair key. This is basically your password. I want to create a new one. Because every device has the password. So we can just create like server 2019 key. And you need to download this key because you need it later on. So click download and just on the desktop with the same name and save it. So it is saved here. After that, click on the launch instance button. So it is saying your instance are now launching. So to view the instance, click on this view instance button. As we can see, it is here, this server 2019, the instance that we created. And if we want, we can go a lot in detail about this instance. Like it will give me the information about this is my public IP, which I will access this system from. This is my private IP, and I told you in regions, in availability zones, there is public and private. So these are those things. Then we have some other like security, networking related. Then we have like tags, which I mentioned earlier, the tag that I created. Monitoring, if you want to monitor the device, like the CPU, process, everything, you can take a look here as well. Okay, then storage, it will give me the information about the storage as well, like 30 GB of volume. Okay, so as we can see, it is running. So how to access this device? So just click on that one. And what you can do, you can copy this public IPv4 address from here. Or there is another way as well. You can go into this instance. If you want to go back into that instance, just click on that instance and select this one. Then there is something related to the RDP, which I can download directly, which I'm not sure where is that. Because very frequently, you know, these AWS, they change these the look and feel of those things. So let me check. Okay, no problem. What we can do, we have multiple, like you can click on this thing, and it will take me to this public IP of this host machine. It is not connected. Let me check if it is running or no. So it is still initializing, Yeah, it is running, but still these two things you need to take into account. System status check, it should be okay running, and this instance status check here as well. It should be running. So let's dig deep if we can do refresh this one. So as you can see now, it is showing me the reachability check passed and these things. So let me check again how I can take that RDP.
Maybe you can use the action and connect it from there on top where it says connect.
Yep, other things I can do, I just copy this one. I need to go into RDP.
Yeah, directly.
And then paste it here and connect it. Now I need to provide the administrator, and the password is, that is the thing. The password I'm looking for. Just a minute. If we can go security. This is the key pair information that I generated earlier. You can take a look of that as well. Basically, it gives me, somewhere information about downloading that RDP directly.
Yeah, if you try the connect on top, see if that gives you that.
Okay, that's fine.
On top, there's a button. There you go. Just click on connect. No, go back. That connect
This?
right above that. Yeah. Right
this
above.
one?
Do you see?
This one. Okay.
Yep.
Yes, instance summary for okay. Connect this one. Yep. Thank you so much, Tanish. Okay. So this is like RDP client senior. From here, you can download this remote desktop. Okay. So before downloading, what we need to do, we need to get the password first of all. So click on that. And we need to browse into that file, the key pair which we generate. So server 2019, just click on that. And this is like the encryption. I need to decrypt my password to get the password. So click on decrypt. And this is the password here. So copy this one and keep. Yep, Danish.
I remember it. I just looked.
Okay, that's fine. So we need to go again into that RDP. Server manager, RDP client, and then you can download that remote desktop directly. Desktop, save it, and run it. And click on the connect. And then just need to paste the password. And click on OK. Click on yes.
So now we are on the cloud, running this server on the cloud.
Okay, so this is a server that is installed. And if you want to confirm how this is the same server we gave, you remember the 13 GB of hard disk to this device. So you can go into this file explorer. Just to confirm that this is the same thing that we provided in the, yeah, as you can see, this is 30 GB. So this is the process of, installing EC2 instances and then accessing those servers from your RDP locally. So to disconnect, just click on this one and click OK. After that, make sure to delete that device, because maybe it is keep running some instances, and the problem could be you will be charged. Okay, so I just give you this as well. So in case if you want to delete this device, select this one and click on this instance state and click on the terminate instance, and click on that and click terminate. After some time, this device will be gone from here. Okay, so this was the demo on the AWS Cloud.